Welcome to Video Battlethon 42 of the Right Michael Rosmer John Sue Video Battlethon inspired by Gary Vaynerchuk. Today's topic is how the friction of life cultivates the wisdom of the soul. Pretty catchy title. Did it myself. Kind of proud. But going back to what I'm talking about, the friction of life, wisdom of the soul. What the hell am I talking about? So here's one of those age-old questions. Why does badness or evil exist? And no, I'm not going to go into a Baptist sermon and tell you about God and the devil. But a lot of people always wonder, they love the good things, but they hate the bad things. But you got to admit, you can't deny bad things happen, and they happen often. It's a fact of life, right? You can't deny that it does not exist. And if you still are denying that it exists, you must be on some good shit, because you definitely are blind to how real life is. But going back to my story, how do we say is, when you're kind of getting into something new, you kind of see it, you have expectations around it where it's either good or it's bad, or it's positive or negative. We'll say it's like that, positive or negative. So, say if you have positive expectations about something, like helping others. It's always good to help others. Always, always, always. And then as you help more and more people, you realize, shit, there's people who use people out in this world? That sucks to be used. And all of a sudden, what you thought was all good, once solidified all good, of helping people is all good, you realize you're starting to see cracks in that. You're like, actually, it's only good when somebody appreciates it. When someone uses me, makes me their bitch, that sucks. I hate it. And all of a sudden, your 100% of all good of helping people starts to change. The ratio starts to change from 100% to like maybe 80-20. And then as you kind of grow up in life helping others, keep helping others, it goes to like 75-25, 60-40. And here's the crazy thing. That moment when it kind of hits close to 50-50, even though it's never that way, something magical happens. It's like a grinding down, like a rubbing of two things together. And all of a sudden, that rubbing of the two things together kind of fuses, and it creates a heat that all of a sudden joins the two, positive and negative, into like one thing. How do we say, it's like rubbing two sides of the same coin together, and all of a sudden, two sides of two different coins, and all of a sudden those two coins become one coin. And what I'm getting at is, if you live life, you realize there's some good things that you used to think were good, and as you live through life, you realize it's actually kind of bad. Or you've had bad things happen to you in your life, and as you've lived and let the event play out, you realize that actually those bad things were actually good. And then there's the third option, when you actually, start off good or bad, and then all of a sudden you see the other side of good or bad, but you actually come to the conclusion that, there's things in life that are actually good and bad, and that's how things are. Like a perfect example that I went through, real estate. You watch these movies, about these, they market the fantasy of, yeah, real estate's awesome, man. You make a killing, you have hot chicks, hot cars, big houses. So they sell you the fantasy of what it is to be in real estate. But real estate, life is not like that. Are there examples that are like that? Yes, but that's not how actual real estate is. Because it doesn't show you how hard you have to work, all the things that you have to do, down markets, losing money, you name it. There's a lot of negative things about being in real estate, and it's just a matter of, are you able to weather the storm? I always say, are you prepared to live, or prepared to fight through the nightmare to live the fantasy? Because, nothing in life for free. You don't get nothing, no handouts. There's always a price to be paid. So that's what I'm talking about. Is the friction of life is what grinds down, I guess, our imbalanced perceptions around things, when we're 100%, oh, this is good, or, or 100% something's bad. And as the two as life experience kind of grinds away our personal perceptions about things, you know, it grinds down, things heat up, and then, as crazy it sounds, the division between, positive and negative is kind of quite gray. And you've got enough years in your life, you start to see things. Positive things don't get you as excited as they used to be, and negative things don't get you down as much as they used to be. You have a more balanced point of view. That's kind of my belief on things. Is when you see something as positive or negative, that's a very black and white way to see things in life. And as anyone knows, it doesn't take a rocket science. It doesn't take a brain surgeon to know life is not black and white. I would say it's more like different shades of gray. That's real life, right? And when you kind of live life in terms of different shades of gray, you're not always, how do we say, pumping your ego, celebrating the wins, and then when you don't get the wins because you see, things black and white, you're kicking your ass, right? When you don't win, you're kicking your ass, and when you lose, you're over fluffing your ego, right? And do those things exist? Yes, they do. But are they kind of what we call, people who kind of see things all very black and white? Is that the truth of how life really is? No, it's not. And, people who I would say are wise people see life really in different shades of gray, and they've been through the good and the bad, and they know that they're not right all the time or wrong all the time. It's just life is life. Whatever happens, you kind of deal with it, and there's going to be good things and there's going to be bad things, but you just kind of roll with it, right? But they're not like fundamentalist black and white people. So yeah, that's my 2 cents about the friction of life cultivating the wisdom of the soul.